Hi and welcome back to the Photoshop Essentials tutorial videos from SEOUK.com. This is video number 2 and we're going to have a look at some images, where you can find images, things like that. Okay, first of all, the obvious place to look for images is Google Images, which is images.google.co.uk or .com, and you just pop in whatever you want to look for. Let's go for a frog and do a search. Okay, so that is one way of finding all sorts of images on pretty much anything you want, but you need to be aware, whilst you can grab an image from here, finding an image on Google Images does not mean you have the right to use it. You will have to find the source image and check the rights for it. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Basically, the usage rights will vary from image to image. Some are free for you to do whatever you want with. Some you can only use on a non-commercial website like your own blog or something like that. Some you can use on a commercial site. You really need to check the rights on the individual image. So just grabbing an image off Google Images isn't always the right way to go about it. If you want to make sure that it is an image that you have the rights to use, I'd highly recommend using iStock Photo. We'll come back to that in a moment or two though. Let's go back and let's actually search through these, and let's just pick a frog. Now, one of the things, if we're actually going to just grab one here to use as an example to show you the tools in Photoshop and what you can do. So what we're going to do is pick one with a solid background, because it makes it a lot easier to play with and make changes to. So for instance, this one's staring me in the face right in the middle. It's got a white background, a solid white background, so that's going to be very easy for me to get rid of and to actually replace it with a transparent background if I want to. Okay, so let's select this one and bring it up. Now you'll notice that the width and the height, it always starts with the width first and then the height, are listed next to the name. That's very useful because we can see how big the graphic is, and obviously this one is plenty big enough for us to be able to play with it and reduce the size without losing any quality. Obviously, if you pick a small image, if you have to increase the size, you lose quality when you do so. So it's always better to find something that's bigger than you need and reduce it to whatever size you actually want. So if we now click on Visit Page, we can see where the original image seems to have come from as far as Google Images is concerned. We can see it there, and if I scroll down, have a look, yeah, we can see there's more images and they've all got the URL on them. So yeah, there we go, there it is again, it's got the URL. So it's probably copyrighted, that image, so probably not what you want to use, but you can check even more. If you go to search by image, it will show you the different sites that it is listed on. There's the Science with Me one, but it is also, by the looks of it, on a Blogspot site there, another Blogspot, or is that the same one? A couple of other sites, so it could be that you can use it with their permission, but the thing to do would be to check with them. That's actually always the best idea. Go to the source of the graphic and check with the owner to see if you can use it, whether you'd have to include the URL, what the rights you may have for it, etc. If we click on all sizes, this will show us, if we hover over in the bar down the bottom here, you can see the different places the image is coming from, different places it's being used. So again, yeah, it is being used in a few different places, but I'd really want to check the rights on that as to whether I do have the rights to use it. If you really want to be sure about the rights of an image, which you should be if you're going to use it, especially on a commercial website, but even on a private site it can be a problem if you're using someone else's graphic, because legally you might not be allowed to. If you want to be sure, go to a site like iStock Photo. Okay, they do charge for them, but you can buy the right to use the images that they have in the database, and they've got a massive database. They get images from all over the place, and basically you can buy the rights to use it on a commercial product, commercial site, whatever. There are different licenses again involved, different costs involved, but basically you can do a search here. Let's do a search on frog, and here we go, and there's again, that's page 1 of 304 pages. You might want to actually sort of narrow the search down a little bit. Maybe you want illustrations rather than photos or videos, but there is obviously a lot available there. You can find pretty much whatever you need to suit your needs from something like iStock Photo, and if you use iStock Photo, you know that you're going to be having the correct legal rights. There is another similar site called Shutterstock, which it used to be good, but I'd recommend not using them, because although they have some great images, they now actually charge a monthly license fee for you to continue using their images on your site. And that's not immediately clear. You actually have to check their terms and conditions to realise that. So you can actually be using one of their images without the rights to it if you haven't kept up your monthly license fee. Okay? So that's why we don't really recommend Shutterstock. We do, however, recommend iStock Photos. It's a great site. You'll be very happy that you know exactly what your rights are, and it's not particularly expensive. However, for the purpose of this video, I'm actually going to go with this froggy one from Google Images itself. Let's go back and let's grab the, let's look at the original image. That's the big one. So what I'm going to do is right click and save picture as. It's called Frog Happy. I've already grabbed a copy, so what I'll actually do is call it something different. Froggy. Okay, so let's save that, and we've now got our image that we're going to have a play with and start using for creating different effects and different things within Photoshop. If you ever find an image and you want to use it and you go to right click and right click is disabled, that most likely indicates that the owner of that image doesn't want you using it. Okay, as I said, this one I'm just using it for demonstration purposes. I'm not actually going to publish this anywhere on the internet because I'm pretty sure I don't have the rights to do so. I should also point out there are a whole bunch of other royalty-free image sites. Just search on Google for royalty-free images and you'll find lots and lots of them. The problem is it can be quite difficult to work out what terms and conditions or what rights you have for each individual image. They can be misleading, so that's why I tend to stick with iStock Photos. I know exactly where I stand. I've paid for it, I know what I can do with it, so I'm always happy for it, happy to use it. I'll actually put a link for iStock Photos under this video as well. But yes, if you're on a tight budget, have a look through Google Images, check where the images come from. A lot of people, if you go to them and ask them, will be happy for you to use it, but you must always make sure you've got permission or make sure that you've got the rights to use an image if you're going to be publishing it on your website. You don't want to get into legal problems. Obviously, usual legal disclaimers apply. I'm not a lawyer. If you want legal advice on that, go and see a lawyer. Okay, that's it for this video. What we're going to do in the next video is actually start cleaning up that image so that we can do some things with it. So thank you very much for watching this, and please move on to video number 3.